Hi there, Logic Language Learners. So today's video is all about the word QUOI. Okay, so if you like the video throughout the video, if you enjoy the video, if you like the video either at the beginning, the middle or the end, would you please subscribe? Would you click like, etc, etc, and click the little bell symbol because that means you get my videos as soon as they come out. So there's some higher elements of grammar in this video and there's some basic ass elements of grammar in this video, so anything I refer to which you don't understand, which you think what is he talking about, do please contact me. If you go to the about section of the channel you will have my contact details. Drop me an email or comment underneath and I will forward you to the appropriate video. So this video is about the use of the word QUOI. QUOI. So as background viewing, I will link you to two videos which talk about different ways of saying the word what. Or another video which is basically dealing with QUOI in a kind of cleverer way, in a relative pronoun way. But the main issue with the word what is that it is one word in English and freaking several words in French. That is the problem. So we are specifically today looking at the word QUOI, not all the different words all the different words for what, which I've already done in a video. So what I thought we would do, which would be the most useful, would be to bring up the QUOI definitions in Word Reference, which as you know is a website I fully endorse, support and advocate. And let's see if you guys can work out why we're using QUOI. Now sometimes it might involve explaining to you why, other times it might just be pointing out things we say more often than less often that are written there, and other times it might just be you going, okay, I get that. So our goal is to make you sound more French. So let's work our way through the list. So the first thing we're talking about with the word QUOI is what it's not saying. So it's really not probably the most common usage of what that you're going to be coming across, which is qu'est-ce que, which is what before somebody doing a direct verb. So let's work our way through the list. I don't know what else to do. I don't know anymore what to do. The what in this thing is kind of like in this sentence is like a thing, it's like an entity. So je sais pas or je ne sais pas quoi faire. So what else could you have used there? Which other words for what have you come across? You couldn't use quel because that's what with a noun, so quel jour. You couldn't use ce que because that's what then followed by a person, then going into a direct verb. So I like what you are saying. J'aime ce que tu dis. I couldn't use que because that's what at the beginning of a sentence in a question, then followed by an inversion. Que fais-tu? Que manges-tu? I couldn't use so I couldn't use quel, I couldn't use que, I couldn't use ce que. Ce qui would be a what as a non-question followed by a verb. So there's none of the other what's there that are relevant. So I don't know what else to do. Je sais pas plus quoi faire. Next one, very common. What? As in an extreme shock or even slight shock. Quoi? So this can either be, are you kidding me? Quoi? Or it can be the way that in polite English we'd say pardon rather than what. And parents always go, we don't say what, we say pardon or excuse me or I'm sorry. So, do you want to come out tonight? What? Quoi? That would be quoi in French. Okay? Lovely. The next one. What as in a slightly less astonished version, like I've just said. So for example, qu'est-ce que tu as dit? What did you say? Quoi? Qu'est-ce que tu as dit? Qu'est-ce que tu as dit? Quoi? So it doesn't need to be quoi. So, but you will hear them both very commonly. Quoi? She's pregnant? That's fantastic, yeah? Do you want a coffee? Tu veux un café? Oui. Quoi? What did you say? Oh, you said you want a coffee. Okay, fine. So both are used. Lovely. I should have done what? What should I have done? We've got two usages of the word quoi in this sentence. We've got one at the beginning and one at the end. Et quoi, j'aurais dû faire quoi? So, quoi There again, I should have done what. We couldn't use anything else because this what is kind of like the standalone what. That's a really good way of thinking about it. All the others go into something. Que needs an inversion afterwards. Ce que needs a subject pronoun doing a verb afterwards. Ce qui needs a verb afterwards. Quel needs an article afterwards. Needs a noun afterwards, or a le, la, les before. So kind of quoi is kind of like the most capable of the whats. It can exist on its own. So, mais j'aurais dû faire quoi? I should have done what? Okay. So I'm just going to get through this list, then I will mention my own usages of quoi. Now, a lot of this list on the page can be, read it all and it's all great, but what you need to fundamentally understand is that what will be very commonly used after let's just make sure we're still turning over, we are. What will be very commonly used after a preposition in a question. So if I said, what do you want? Qu'est-ce que tu veux? The use of qu'est-ce que is interesting because after a qu'est-ce que or a ce que, you are always going to have a verb which is direct. In other words, a verb which does not bring in de or a or other prepositions. You think of all the times that you've said ce que, and if you haven't yet understood how to use ce que, press pause, go and watch the ce que video I will be placing up there. So for example, I like what Luc is saying. J'aime bien ce que Luc dit. Luc dit quelque chose. It's direct, there's nothing blocking it. Or, what are you doing? Qu'est-ce que tu fais? After the ce que element, you've got tu fais, because tu fais quelque chose. If you are using the word what, which is then followed by a verb which needs a preposition, you won't be doing the same thing. So for example, if I said you're thinking of something, tu penses à quelque chose. Yeah, we use penser with à. Tu penses à quelque chose. You can't say, what are you thinking about? Qu'est-ce que tu penses à? You would have to say, à quoi tu penses? À quoi tu penses? Or tu penses à quoi? Okay? Now, anything like this you've come across before, guys. You've come across the à laquelle, auquel, and all of this business. But this video is specifically on quoi. So quoi would be when you've got a prepositional question and you are referring to what would come after the à or the de. So, what are you thinking of? À quoi tu penses or even tu penses à quoi? Both would be acceptable. What do you remember? So you remember is the A, B, C verb. Gosh, you've got some background viewing to do if you've not watched that video. So reflexive verb with the preposition, se souvenir de. So you remember something, tu te souviens de quelque chose. I remember, whatever, je me souviens de. So what do you remember? Tu te souviens de quoi? Now you might go, oh, hang on, Luke, but I remember doing a dans. So dont je me souviens or je m'en souviens. Those are all great. Let's just make sure we've got the difference. Let's say I remember the situation. Je me souviens de la situation. You've still got je me souviens, you've still got la situation, de is in the middle. The situation I remember, la situation dont je me souviens. I shall write these underneath, incidentally. La situation dont je me souviens. You've still got la situation coming first now, and you've still got je me souviens. I remember it. Je m'en souviens. You've basically reduced la situation to the pronoun en. So if you said in a question form, so that's known as the trident method, de, dot, en. So if you needed a question form, what do you remember? Let's categorically say if you are using a what question with a verb which involves a pronoun, a preposition, you ain't going to be using de, dot, en. So what do you remember? You're going to be using quoi? Tu te souviens de quoi? What are you signing up to? So s'inscrire à, tu t'inscris à quoi? Yeah, so the quoi is really useful in a question word function there with the preposition. So in other words, if we go back, a lot of the expressions that you've got in forme composée are basically relying on that. So what's the use? À quoi bon? I'm going to say personally how often I use certain expressions. I don't use à quoi bon, not very often. À quoi ça rime? So ça rime à quelque chose is the original expression. So à quoi ça rime? Yeah? I don't think I've used that twice in my life. À quoi ça sert? Must use it every day when speaking French. Very common. Ça sert à quelque chose, ça sert à quoi? Ça sert à quoi? What good does it do? À quoi ça sert? Yeah? What are you playing at? That one even matches the English. Tu joues à quoi? I mean, tu joues à quoi là? À quoi tu joues? Yeah? All we're doing is using the what form after the preposition. Then, after which, après quoi? Now, you might just go, so what's the example? I get the children sorted, after which, then I take a nap. Yeah? Je m'occupe des enfants, après quoi je fais une sieste. Sieste being the French word of siesta in Spanish, okay? So, you will have après quoi quite a lot there, and you might go, well, why wouldn't it be après lequel, Luke? Because you told me that if we had a preposition and the word which, that it would be a lequel. With which, avec lequel. For which, pour lequel. Pour laquelle, pour lesquels. In the example of lequel and laquelle and lesquels, the which is specifically one noun. This is the pen with which I signed the contract. This is the pen I signed the contract with. You know, voici le stylo avec lequel j'ai signé le contrat. This is the company I work for. This is the company for which I work. You know, voici la société pour laquelle je travaille. Bit heavy. I mean, we could just say where I work. But in other words, for which, after which, under which will be lequel, laquelle, lesquels. But that which is specifically one noun rather than an idea. So this is like, you know, I look after the kids. After which, as in after this activity, afterwards, après quoi. So that's why we use après quoi rather than après lequel. Good. Avoir de quoi faire. So this is just the dictionary infinitive form. Avoir de quoi is to kind of have enough to have what you need. So if I were making a cake, so if I were making a cake, and someone said, "What are you doing this afternoon?" and I said, "Oh, I'm making a cake. Alors moi je vais faire un gâteau." Somebody could say, "T'as de quoi? Have you got what you need? Have you got enough? Have you got what you sort of require?" And that's a very common French thing to say. Okay. Next one, c'est n'importe quoi. N'importe quoi. Now it doesn't literally just mean it doesn't matter what. So for example, if I said, "Do you want a coffee or a tea?" and I'd say, it doesn't matter which. You know, n'importe quoi wouldn't quite be right there. There I'd say, peu importe, doesn't matter, peu importe, or ça m'est égal, or je m'en fiche, I don't care. Yeah, so n'importe quoi means what a load of rubbish, what a load of nonsense, what a load of bullshit, what a load of whatever. N'importe quoi. He told me he loved me, but what a load of rubbish. He's never shown me. Il m'a dit qu'il m'aimait, mais n'importe quoi. Yeah? What is it? C'est quoi? It's what? Now, I suppose there you could quite happily say qu'est-ce que c'est? Yeah, what is it? Yeah, but there, what is it? What's that? C'est quoi? C'est quoi ça? What is it? C'est quoi ça? Qu'est-ce que c'est? Fine, makes sense. But c'est quoi ça? You know, like what a common childhood thing to say. So for example, what is? So if there's a word you didn't know, you know, if the kid didn't know what, I don't know, an iPad was, qu'est-ce que c'est un iPad? Or c'est quoi un iPad? Yeah, you would use that. Let's move on before my hauntingly beautiful childhood voice upsets you. So, ça ressemble à quoi de faire? So that's another way of saying what's the point in doing. Yeah? À quoi ça sert de faire? I personally wouldn't use that, but what is grammatically interesting again is you've got ressembler à quelque chose, normally with a person, you know, il ressemble à son père. And so, to use the what form in a question after a preposition, are we spotting the habit? Then we will use quoi. Okay? So if I said he looks like something, Luke, what did you say? You said he looked like something. What was it? Il ressemble à quoi? That was it. You said he looks like a courgette. You know, whatever. Okay. I'll leave that one with you. Good. Ça rime à quoi de... That's basically using the above expressions, but with an infinitive afterwards. So ça rime à quoi? This time with de faire. So what good would it be to do something? So you can say ça rime à quoi on its own. Personally never use it. You can use ça sert à quoi on its own. Personally use it loads. And then with a de plus an infinitive. Mais ça sert à quoi de venir? What good does it do to come? Si tu vas pas travailler. Yeah? Good. I've used that today.